And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angels and demons and monsters and serpents. This is Brothers of the Serpent Podcast, and we are coming to you live from the 10 by 10 by 10 tangent cube of science, where we are nestled amongst the dusty bones of an ancient seabed high atop the Everest Plateau. Both of us are in day 2 of a fast. I'm hungry and grumpy.
I'm hungry. Not religious, just for health purposes.
Yeah.
Is it religious for you? It's not.
No, it's not religious. It's like the cleansing of the new year.
Yeah.
Right? Just lot of holiday food and desserts and shit, and it's time to like get rid of that
Test
stuff.
the willpower a little bit.
Test the willpower, yeah. And then I'm gonna try to go back on. I'll go carnivore for a while after the fast, and then back to low carb.
Brave. I'm gonna go straight back to the normal diet.
I like carnivore, but I can't do it for very long. It's like
I gotta have cheese.
A couple of weeks, you know. You can have some cheese.
A lot of cheese.
Okay, well, maybe not a lot.
I mean, cheese is like, it's the main thing. Meat and cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
What should we call that diet?
maybe I'm not doing actual carnivore because for me it's like it's meat and then dairy product, like anything that's animal product. So eggs, cheese, milk.
I thought the point was like protein. You're just taking in protein.
That's like, yes, the bulk of what I'm eating is meat, steaks, bacon, pork, whatever, chicken.
I gotta have lettuce.
But
too,
then
though.
like, you know, you put some cheese on top, melt it, you know.
Stop.
But yes, no greens. Yeah, I know it's tough to talk about. But yeah,
man.
carnivore. I like the carnivore because after the fast, it keeps the ketosis going for a while, and you can really tell. Like after a couple of weeks, like a good 3-day fast, and then carnivore for a while, you can really tell.
Okay, all right.
And then after, when I can't stand it, when I'm like, I don't want a steak, which is, you know,
that's weird.
when you get to that point, you're like, okay, now we can shift over back into the regular diet.
Okay.
So that's what that's
Maybe
my plan.
I'll try. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You don't have to do it, but that's
I'm
what
gonna
I'm
be eyeballing that cheese.
You can have cheese.
But yeah, the like lettuce.
I
I'll
know.
eat an entire head of lettuce.
Well, maybe you do paleo then.
Yeah.
Paleo is cooked meat
Just
and
no
raw
carbs.
veggies.
You're just like no carbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably do that. But bread.
Listen to him.
It's so good.
Potatoes, rice. Yeah, I know. I know.
Rice, dude. Oh. Pasta. So good. No carbs was the hardest. I think one of the hardest things I did.
Oh, look, my wife is in there telling us to stop talking about food. Yes, my lovely wife is also fasting with us, so we're all suffering together. I think Ben is doing it. Professor Shy.
Yeah,
we're all in on
Shy.
it. Yeah.
I am the instigator.
Kyle instigates it.
I'm always like, it's time.
It's time, bros.
It's
We're
time
like,
for life to suck for 3 days.
okay.
Yeah.
What's the other thing? Oh, we have another possible Snowmageddon 2 coming.
Yeah, we got a big winter storm coming. I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of people do. Obviously, there's like it's
Yeah,
coming all the way across.
Yeah.
I saw one map. Now I know everything about the storm.
I've seen like, you know, predictions from both ends that on the one end we're going to get 10 inches of freezing rain and it's going to be like the most devastating thing that's ever happened, and then on the other end it's like you might get a little bit of freezing rain and it's only going to be below freezing at night here. Obviously states farther to the east and northern are going to get more than that, but
Tacos, green tea.
Tacos.
You are right.
yeah.
Tacos. It's a staple. Sorry.
Yeah.
Man.
Tacos.
I went and got propane today. It was a massive line. All the propane places
I
had
bet.
huge lines.
I bet.
I got my tanks filled right before the big tank they were filling from
Ran out.
And he was like, dude, it's almost out.
Well, I'm glad you got some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fireplace will be working. They're saying, I've heard the word on the streets is that the Texas grid is going to be good. They're saying like
It's going to be fine this time.
we're
We're solid.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, if it's that, yeah. So this was the discussion we were having too. Is that the grid may not go down, but freezing rain causes trees and lines to break, and then it's tough to get to them.
Yes, that's true.
So if a tree breaks because of all the ice and falls on the line, or the line breaks or whatever, then they can't get out there because everything's covered in ice, and a lot of these lines are running through the hills with no actual road. Then we may have to wait a couple of days to get the power back, which is, I think, what happened, at least in our area last time. It wasn't the whole state grid going down was not the reason we lost power. We lost power for 3 days because there was multiple lines down because of all the ice, and they couldn't get out there and fix them.
Yeah, but they've been getting better with the roads, like the sand on the roads. They've been
right.
real quick.
That's
They've
true.
been on the ball with that stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. It'll be fun. I love winter storms. I mean, I don't want damage to happen, and I know last time it caused like billions of
I've been
dollars.
looking forward to it too.
But I love the winter
Kind of
storms.
getting stranded.
Yeah.
Power goes out. It's great when I have a fireplace.
Yeah,
and
get a
now I have
fire going,
fireplace.
light some candles,
Yeah.
play some board games with the
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been prepping the vineyard for days.
Yep.
There's so much stuff
There's
out
a lot
there
of
to
stuff
like
to prep.
prep for the cold.
Yep.
But back to the fast real quick. We've talked about this quite a bit on the show, but I was using the fast for like serious like suffering training. In a way, like
Yeah.
like make yourself suffer dopamine fast. This time, I'm like, I want to make it as enjoyable as possible.
It's actually, I mean, I was complaining at the beginning, but this isn't so bad. I mean, like, maybe I'm getting used to it, but the first time we did it, I was like, this sucks. But now I'm just like, yeah. It's all right.
I'm changing my tactics though. I was doing the, no nicotine, using it to help like get off the nicotine or whatever. Take a healthy pause from the nicotine. This time I was like not doing it.
Yeah.
So
I like the fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So because I always combined it with the nicotine, you were like, no,
That's the worst possible. Yeah.
So yeah, and then I would have like one little thing of tea in the morning, and then everything else was just water. It was just miserable.
Yeah.
But I've been drinking this black tea with lemon.
Okay.
All day.
Nice.
And I don't know if it's good. We're gonna find out. We'll see how like it affects me. But
yeah. Remember the first time we did it, I just was like water for 3 days.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you guys were like, bro, you're gonna die.
need some
you need electrolytes.
well, last time I overdid it with the salt.
Yeah.
With the electrolytes, and then it was like, this is not good. So
Yeah.
I'm just changing. I'm testing out something.
Well,
else.
now we have the little electrolyte packets.
Yeah.
There's like, it's just electrolytes, and there's a little bit of flavor, and you just put that in a big cup of water with some ice, and it's great. I crunch the ice. There's a little bit of taste. And you're like, oh yeah, it's strawberries or whatever. So it's nice.
Well, I brought some tea. I brought my little concoction here.
Okay, good.
I use
Sweet.
stevia because it doesn't have. It's like no carbs or whatever. So there's a tiny little
The
bit of
old
stevia
Captain
in the
Picard
hot
special.
water, the Earl Grey black tea, and so if you want one,
Yeah, I might have one.
otherwise, I don't want you to do like a low energy show, and I'll fall asleep.
All right.
yeah.
Here we go. This doesn't
It's
break
not-
the
no.
fast, right? Woo!
It's losing its potency.
It is.
though.
I need to order
It's-
another.
well, no, it's good. It's like now it's not killing me.
Yeah. Yeah, you can really just.
It's so funny. Ow, it's really funny with this in here. It's like we have the women come in and they're like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Well, just smell it." No, I do not want to smell that. Laura's just like, "No way." And then like every guy that comes in here, it's like, I'm like, "Yeah, it's strong," and they're like, and then they go back for seconds.
Yeah. Yep. Come back in for more. Yeah.
That cracks me up.
Yeah, I need another one. Got it.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah, that one's good.
we got a couple of things on the agenda.
Yeah.
We had discussed. I would like to talk about Dr. Max's paper
Oh yeah.
and his research on the vases some. And I wanted to do more research because I read the paper a while back. And I was thinking like, oh, I'll do research when I get home. Well, then I was in a propane line forever and getting a little scruffy. I didn't have time. So, but we can still just go over it. I can read the abstract. I know a couple of things that I would like to talk about it. And then we can just discuss the topic or his approach to it generally, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we're going to do listener comms. So what do we do first?
Yeah, so listener comms. I also want to tell people, I hope you enjoyed, or if you haven't seen yet, will enjoy the episode with Matt Shy. We will be having him on for more. He just wanted to go home. He had to go home, obviously. He wanted to go home and finish up the, the episode 2 and 3, however many more there are going to be. But I'm just letting you know, we will have the rest of the Dragons series with Matt. And then, should we do space weather news?
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
I meant to remind you.
I always forget to turn that thing on. Why? Now, is it going to work?
No.
I have to stop it. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay.
There we go. Space weather news from spaceweather.com. What's up in space? The storm is over. Get ready for the next one. Earth's magnetic field is quiet again. Following 3 days of intense geomagnetic storms from January 19th to 21st, storm levels were severe for 15 hours and strong for more than 18 hours. People saw auroras across most of Europe and at least 40 U.S. states. This will go down as one of the biggest events of solar cycle 25. There were also auroras inside the South Atlantic anomaly. Many unusual things happened during this week's severe geomagnetic storm. Mark this as one of the most unusual. We saw auroras inside the South Atlantic anomaly, reports Egon Filter, who sent a picture of this event. He said, we were looking south on January 19th when this strange purple band appeared. At the time, the planetary K index was 7.6. This was a serious storm. The South Atlantic anomaly is a weak spot in Earth's magnetic field centered on Brazil. There, the planet's protective magnetic shield is thinner than elsewhere, allowing energetic particles from the inner Van Allen radiation belt to dip unusually close to the Earth. So you might suppose that auroras would be strong in the South Atlantic anomaly because solar storms can penetrate Earth's defenses there. In fact, the opposite is true. Multiple studies show that auroras are relatively weak in the anomaly. Why? It is a bit of a mystery. One idea holds that weak and disorganized magnetic fields in the anomaly do a poor job of focusing and accelerating solar wind particles. Instead of forming bright, narrow curtains of light, the incoming particles spread out and produce only faint, diffuse glows. But the lights that Filter saw might have been a different phenomenon. And and SAR arc. SAR arcs are red bands that appear during some geomagnetic storms when Earth's ring current system leaks heat energy into the upper atmosphere. Research suggests that SAR arcs should be suppressed inside the anomaly for much the same reasons that auroras are suppressed, but the jury is still out. Either way, something unusual happened in the South Atlantic anomaly on January 19th. And you can browse the gallery at spaceweather.com to see images of it. Interesting stuff. Yeah. So I was actually talking to Matt at the time, and I always go out when they say we got a huge influx of particles from some outburst on the sun. I go out and see, can I see anything in the sky? Mm-hmm. One time I did. The sky was noticeably purple. Like noticeably, it was not black, but it was like purple and red. Mm-hmm. Remember that? But the last 2 times this has happened, I haven't been able to see anything here. But Matt, where he is a little farther north, he went out and looked, and he sent me some photos. No bands in the sky. I mean, I think you have to be farther north than that, but the sky was colored from where he was. So.
I did see bands when the last one, because I was in Fredericksburg at Ty's place, and the solar storm hit or whatever. I went out and I was like, is that,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but then I started seeing it like it was moving like this, and I was like, oh my gosh, that it was so faint. And then when the band went away, the whole sky got like pink.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, like a purple, pink,
Yeah.
red color. Yeah. It
So
and
that
it
was really cool. I
slowly
did see
changing.
the bands, but it was so faint.
Really
It was
faint,
just
yeah.
like a little white. It looked like a cloud or something like that, but it actually was undulating. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we got a couple of
Yeah,
super chats here.
Got
Also,
some
yeah,
tips.
thanks to everybody in the chats for being here. Appreciate it,
Really
you guys.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Tinker LV 426, $5. Loved the Dragons of Legend Stowed. Great presentation. The badly
Sweet.
formatted slide with Jormungandr sent me to endless YouTube clips of God of War. Excellent.
The badly formatted
Matt's slides are legendary. You know, they're legendarily terrible. Bruce, $20. Fasting in Kyle's new music.
Hey, thank you. Update on the music. Probably not going to make the deadline, but you got to make deadline. You got to
set deadlines.
You got to set deadlines
So that you can miss them.
And I'm really, I'm pushing, but you know, I don't think it's going to happen. But anyways, it will be shortly thereafter we get back from Egypt. Hopefully, I just pick it right back up and try to finish it. So I'm hoping now. The deadline is still before we leave, but I'm realistically thinking it should be out by the summer. This is the way it went with Procession as well.
But,
Yeah. So thank you very much for that. All right, what else? We dive into
Space Brother news. Yes, let's do the vases.
Okay.
Matt's in there. Sup.
Yo.
I heard Kyle was talking smack. Yeah. Both of us are talking smack.
Always, bro. Always. You did up the meme game though, finally.
Yeah, he did.
And it's pretty good. You destroyed Ty's career. I was very proud of you in that moment. Great moment for you. Okay, so this is Max got his article. Dr. Max. Can you pronounce the whole name?
No.
Okay.
Need my wife for that.
He is a friend.
He is.
I met him.
Came to the wedding.
He came to Russ's wedding. We hung out there. Nice guy. Okay. Really nice guy. So this is not this is anything personal, but I have my arguments about his conclusions. That's what this is a intellectual argument. We went back and forth on Twitter a little bit, or on X, because he's gone from this paper and then he's done some other things, and like some of the stuff that he's showing, we'll get to it, but we had a little back and forth. I think he's trolling me a little bit, maybe. I'm not going to accuse him of that because maybe we have a language barrier. I don't know, but I was thinking, okay, this is kind of like a gentlemanly challenge. But I want to go through this paper first, and then we'll get into that other stuff later. So this was published in Nature. Is that right? Yeah. So the title is a metrological method for manufacturing, quality assessment, and classification of ancient Egyptian stone vessels by Dr. Max. Something. Sorry, Max. The abstract. Pre-dynastic Egyptian stone vessels offer unique insight into the technological sophistication of early cultures. Thousands of stone vessels were created during the pre-dynastic period. Many objects lack archaeological context due to looting and haphazard excavations. Numerous forgeries exist. Where are they? Okay, so anyway, this study aims to reduce the uncertainty and introduce a novel method for analyzing and classifying rotationally symmetric artifacts based on their 3D scans. We introduce a quality metric based on concentricity and circularity, hypothesizing that objects from different cultures were produced using distinct manufacturing techniques. We test the hypothesis on a dataset comprising 19 pre-dynastic vessels from the Petrie Museum, 25 modern machine-made, and 24 contemporary handcrafted vases, and numerous objects from private collections. We observe clustering by manufacturing quality and identify the use of precision tools. By comparing a 3D scan of an unprovenanced object to known quality classes, we can classify the object and identify possible forgeries. Okay, so overall, I mean, this is what we're attempting to do. This is what we want. this type of analysis on the vases. And so this is a good thing. So, but we'll get to, I think my first issue with it is he goes on to describe like some of the vases and their provenance from Petrie. And I'll just read this part here. The classification of pre-dynastic Egyptian stone vessels has historically relied on typology and material analysis. Flinders Petrie's pioneering work established a foundational framework by categorizing vessels by shape, material, and chronological sequence, and by linking stylistic changes to cultural and temporal contexts. His collection at the Petrie Museum remains a primary resource for researchers. And Lucas expanded on Petrie's work, focusing on the origins and cultural attribution of these vessels with an emphasis on material sourcing and trade networks. So this is typical typological dating, essentially. Like we do this with arrowheads. We do this with a lot of different artifacts. When you find ones that have a very similar manufacturing style or like what they look like, their typology, you can typically put them in that same box, even if it's from a totally different location. It's like, well, this is possibly made at the same time. Now, typology is often backed up by other proxies. Like if you're finding it, digging in layers, you can carbon date materials in those layers. And then you can beef up this typological dating by other, like the same type that you find in a different location also has carbon datable materials in those layers. This is what they do with arrowheads. They show up right around the same time. So they'll give you a timeline, like this is about how long they were making these. And so then as it becomes more and more robust and refined, you can pretty much anytime you find one say, wow, this is 6,000 years old or whatever with an arrowhead. So this is the same type of thing that's been done with the vases. And obviously many of them were found in tombs.
Yeah.
And so they were dated based on grave goods, tombs, writing. So these things can be wrong because the vases can be hand-me-downs. They can be relics that were collected or preserved from the past. So that's one of the arguments that I think our camp is making, that we think that some of these may be much older.
Some of them are certainly pre-dynastic. Having been found in pre-dynastic burials, right? From the Nakata stuff or something.
Yeah. And but then you'll see some from later that, like, because some of these earliest ones they appear to be extremely precise. Of course, we won't know how precise they are until they're scanned.
Right.
Which is why we need to broaden the data set. And that's my number one criticism of Max's paper, is that he doesn't have a broad enough data set, in my opinion. Okay. Like, we need to broaden it. So I feel like he comes to a conclusion in the paper, and it's premature. That's my number one criticism.
What about what he's decided to measure?
Great. Circularity, concentricity. What's wrong with that? I'm not a metrologist. So there's, like, he does all this math. He shows all these graphs and everything, which great. But like, I'm not really looking at that. I'm looking at, obviously I'm looking at it, but I don't know enough about metrology or the mathematics to really say, oh, he did it wrong or he didn't do it good enough or something. I have no idea.
It just, all I was wondering is that enough criteria? Like, don't you need to measure a few more things than just those things? Or can you look at those and decide, yes, this is precise, and no, it isn't?
I think I think that it's, and
it can give you a baseline at least.
Adam believes that this is a good enough metric.
Okay.
And I think that there's quite a few machinists. We've talked to machinists, and they'll say the same thing.
Okay.
Like, when you get this like circularity and concentricity over an axis, like, that's crazy.
Okay.
To certain tolerances, that's like, it's machine H.
Okay.
So, but there are plenty of other metrics, and one of the things Kadoe has been working so long on is developing, like, to analyze them from a lot of different ways. I don't even know how to describe it because I don't fully understand it all yet. But there's a lot of different metrics that Kadoe is including in his analysis. So it's going to be a much broader analysis of the geometry of the vases from a lot of different
metrological
wall
properties
thickness
of each one.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Wall thickness across all of this stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that he's doing that still has not been done.
Okay.
And maybe I shouldn't be saying that right now because then Max will go do it real fast while we're all busy. Okay. So that, let's see. I want to find this one spot. So one of the things he does in the paper, so that I don't have a bunch of dead air while I'm looking for it, is he talks about forgeries and the problem with forgeries.
Okay.
And he has a citation in the paper that is a write-up about forgeries. I wouldn't even say that the citation is a paper. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a peer-reviewed paper. The issue I have with it is that he brings up provenance as a problem for all of the privately owned vases, and sort of it's very suggestive that like all the stuff in the privates that's privately owned, and the ones that are like really high precision, they're forgeries. So it's suggestive.
Okay.
And of course, like nature is going to publish this. Like this is, that's what they want.
Yeah.
Essentially. Don't overturn the apple cart. So there's like a suggestion that all the privately owned ones are forgeries. There's like, here's a big problem in Egyptology with forgeries. When you go to that citation and you read that story, there's nothing about any stone vessels in there. It's about statues, little, you know,
and that makes
statues
sense.
that are carved out of whatever.
That makes sense
probably limestone
because
and other stuff. They're not precise. They're just, this has nothing to do with the actual stone vases.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And that makes sense because like what we've heard from numerous different people, including people in Egypt, is that most of the forgery market is for statues and things that have writing on them, not stone vessels that are blank, right? Whereas a statue or something that has hieroglyphs on it, people can look at it and be like, that's Egyptian. But if it's just a stone vase with no marking, somebody who doesn't know anything about this world won't look at it and think, oh, that's an Egyptian artifact, right? So a collector wants something like it's
got the writing, it's got a pharaoh's face on it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to read this little excerpt. He says, Dr. Max says, the apparent mismatch between the quality of pre-dynastic Egyptian stone vessels and the technological capabilities of the epoch brought into focus a thorny issue of authenticity. Ancient Egyptian artifacts were forged for hundreds of years. And he cites a couple of papers. Conradi highlights a troubling trend among academic researchers and private collectors, characterized by the increasing loss and disregard of provenance. Unlike wooden or ceramic objects, stone artifacts cannot be easily dated, so one must rely on archaeological context to date and attribute them properly. Yet with so many ancient Egyptian artifacts lacking proper documentation, the disregard for provenance is understandable. Museums typically display objects of interest to the general public, whether replicas or genuine, as their primary mission is to provide entertainment and drive tourism. Their scientific mission in heritage research and preservation is often secondary. I agree with that. He goes on, nevertheless, doubts about authenticity result in occasional critical examination of established collections, with some archaeologists publicly challenging ancient Egyptian attribution of display items purchased by museums in an open antiquities market. While the provenance situation is concerning, it is not without a remedy. In many cases, the use of modern technology can help us distinguish genuine objects from fakes and separate imitations of artifacts from earlier cultures from those produced by later cultures. For example, a team of researchers at the British Museum used electron microscopy to demonstrate that the purportedly pre-Columbian crystal skulls exhibit tool marks consistent with modern machining. Therefore, they're modern.
Right.
This is what I'm saying. Like this is, nevertheless, the crystal skulls in question remain prominently displayed, and perhaps rightfully so, as the resulting exhibit informs the public about the use of modern technology and artifact authentication. So there's like a little circular logic. It's suggestive. I'm not saying Max specifically is doing this, but it's like if you want to say that, well, we can we can look at the crystal skulls and find modern machining marks, therefore it's modern. Well, if what we're trying to do is say that there was some capability to do machining in the past, which is exhibited, like the markings of that are exhibited by objects that are from this ancient period, or even before we in the modern era had these machining capabilities. It's like saying, well, every single one of them that is going to exhibit these machining marks is now fake.
Right.
So I'm like, dude, I don't like that argument.
Yeah,
like that's not
like a false equivalence or something.
Yeah. So basically it's like anything, and now it's even museums. Like, well, the museum bought this from somebody and now it's got machining marks on it. It's fake.
Right.
Because it's modern.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have that technology 4,000 years ago.
Right.
So it's like, I don't understand. Like, I thought we were looking for, so I don't know. It is a provenance issue, but I feel like this is suggesting that if there's modern era capability in the object and it's in the private sector, it's not in a museum, then it's fake.
Right.
It's kind of setting that up to remove all of the artifacts that are not in museums with provenance straight from a tomb, that they're not usable, not studyable,
right?
Not relevant.
If you can basically state it simply as, if the argument is whether or not there were modern-like machining abilities in the distant past, then turning around and saying, well, when we see modern-like machining marks, that means it's not from the distant past.
Yeah.
You've basically just sidestepped the entire discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing I will bring up about the paper is Max's inclusion of the modern handmade vessels. So there's one particular graph. If you guys want to look up this paper, I gave the title. I didn't even set up the share screen, so I can't even share this. Sorry. Totally was not prepared. A metrological method for manufacturing, quality assessment, and classification of ancient Egyptian stone vessels. You could just type that into Google Scholar.
Google gentleman.
So he has this graph that's really a good graph. And it's basically clustering the objects that he used in his scans by their circularity and concentricity. So again, we have three groups. We've got modern machine-made stone vessels that were turned on a lathe, and modern handmade Egyptian alabaster or travertine stone vessels. And then 19 pre-dynastic Egyptian stone vessels from the Petrie Museum. These are the three groups. And so the handmade vessels and the ancient vessels from Petrie in one of these graphs sort of cluster together. I'll just show it on the camera. So the cluster in the corner near 0 are the modern machine-made ones, right? The red ones are the handmade ones from modern times. And the blue squares are the ancient Egyptian ones from the Petrie Museum. So you can see that the ancient Egyptians were better at it in some of these cases in the blue than the modern handmade ones. Now, what I could not find in the paper was documentation of the handmade vessels from modern times. When people say, oh, it's handmade, did they use power tools? Did they use they use steel?
Right.
Did they use, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's all these tools that we have in the modern era where we can say, well, it was handmade.
Right.
With a grinder in your hand, with a Dremel tool, with a turntable.
Yep.
Supposedly they didn't have turntables in these ancient Egyptian times. They didn't have the wheel. They didn't, in the Nakata culture, didn't have the potter's wheel. Their pottery was like, rolling it up like, so.
There's images of it in the tombs of the nobles showing them doing pottery by hand with no wheel.
And so I would say this would be really telling if these modern handmade vessels that were used with steel, iron, turntables, whatever.
Yeah.
If that was included in the paper, the exact methodology of the handmade ones, that would be really great.
Yeah.
But it's not in there. So the fact that the ancient Egyptian vessels beat the modern handmade ones
Yeah.
is also telling, but he just discards it. Like, obviously they're not machine made because this is modern machining. In this cluster in the corner.
In the yellow cluster.
Whatever. It's up there. Yeah. So you saw it. So that's my other issue with the paper. It's like, well, if you don't have provenance, like essentially where did these modern handmade ones come from? What tools were used to make them? Like, that's kind of like a moot point in my opinion. And the ancient Egyptian ones are better than those in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll point out about the Petrie Museum, Ben said this 100 times, it is Petrie's teaching collection. Most of the really good stuff that he found, he gifted, or it was, it went elsewhere. This is like the leftover collection that he kept to teach. These are not the best of the best artifacts that he discovered. There are better ones. And I've, talking to Katawi, he's just like, yeah, the Petrie ones are not good based on some of the other museums they've gone to, and the pieces we've found in other museums are like, some of these are way better. So again, we need to increase the data set. And this is what I was saying. So later on X, I'm saying this to Max. I'm like, dude, I think your conclusions are premature, because basically he's saying there's nothing to see here. These were handmade vessels from the past. Mystery solved. And he literally said mystery solved to me. I was just like, dude, we say that as we're sarcastic when we say that, because that's also what academics do. So that's my other criticism, Max, is that this is exactly what academics do. They're like, okay, one study, mystery solved.
Yeah.
Next mystery.
And also, it seems like if you're setting up your system so that you can just discard everything that's really precise as being a modern fake that you don't have to look at anymore, then it makes it,
that's another thing. Put the OG base, like,
Yeah. Who was making them? I mean, maybe this is a completely separate question, but I would like to, like, but probably these people don't pay attention, but you would think maybe they do. If somebody has been making a ton of forgeries, maybe they pay attention, to what's going on. I'd like to know, like, what manufacturing places were making hardstone vessels in the 80s?
Well, like Adam,
the 60s?
Yeah, so Adam has told me this many times. We've had this discussion. There's this whole problem with the provenance thing, and it's like, these vessels were, they at least have provenance going back to the 80s. They were in a private collection for this long, whatever.
Right.
It was sold in an estate sale in the 80s, something like that. And in the 80s, we talked to machinists, and they're like, there were no 4-axis, maybe 1-2 4-axis mills or 5-axis mills in the entire world.
Yeah.
At that time, right? Back then, 4-axis or 5-axis.
So if somebody's making mills, fake, unmarked Egyptian stone jars to sell for $50.
Yeah, or $200 or whatever. It's prohibitively expensive. Like, those machines were being used probably all the time for a very specific purpose.
To make like airplane parts.
And then the other thing is they're making parts out of metal, and to then try to throw in, stone. You have to retool. You have to, you have to have a whole collection of tools. It's a totally different process. So I think that we still have a long road in this argument that there may be something special about these in the past. So I disagree with Max's conclusion.
And maybe the other thing, I again want to reiterate, we like Max. And he's awesome. We've hung out with him. Ben and I went down there.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, Ben and I went down there to look at vase fragments with his electron microscope. He had this idea about nuclear machining, which was fabulous. And this is probably just, when you're writing a paper, you have to have some kind of conclusion in it, maybe. And so he's just like, okay, we're going to go with this, right? So I'm not ascribing any conspiratorial or negative things to Max here at all. Right? I don't think he has some kind of agenda.
It's a giant conspiracy. Max is trying to destroy us.
He's got a giant conspiracy, Max.
I think that but okay, so I agree, but I think that I don't know what's going. It feels, it's like this is just classic academic. He was an academic. We talked about that.
Yeah.
He left that field, but he's still of that field. And I feel like when I look at this, I'm like, well, yes, of course nature published this, because you're saying it's all bullshit. That's
Yeah.
easy.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. And then, so the recent little back and forth we had on X was he was showing blanks because he's been going back to Petri. He's still looking into it, but he's going back to Petri and he's like finding, okay, they've got these blanks that like already start to have the lug handles on them, but they're grinding. He's showing and making the case that these are clearly handmade, like the beginning is handmade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. Yes. There were thousands, if not tens of thousands of handmade stone vessels.
Yep.
There's documentation of how they made them by hand.
Yeah.
Like there's tons of vases in the Petri Museum that are obviously wonky. They are not precise.
Yeah.
And so we scanned like one or two of them just because it's like, well, let's just put that. We need that in the data set, but just like one or two. No one's arguing that they weren't made by hand. What we're arguing is that there's a possibility that there's a separate category that were not made by hand. That's the point. And so if you're just going to go around and be like, look, this one was made by hand. This one was made by hand. Well, there's tens of thousands of those we could easily point out in every museum as we go around the world looking at these things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this point is moot. Everyone knows that they're made by hand also.
Yeah.
The thing we need to look for are the ones that are so precise they could not be made by hand.
Right. Right. And then hopefully
That's what we're looking for.
Yes. Yes, because if there's even just one of those that is definitely 8,000 years old or whatever,
and
then you have a real question. It doesn't matter if every single other vase is made by hand.
Yeah.
If you have an old one that is incredibly, like, has modern levels of precision, then it doesn't matter that every other vase you look at.
That will just be an out of place artifact at that point.
Right.
Right. But if we can find more than one, I agree with you. Just one is like, you cannot do this by hand. So what's going on?
Yeah.
There's likely to be more. So that's why I'm saying we need to increase the data set. And you could say, well, this is a selection bias. You're only picking the best ones. Well, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We're looking for it's so best that it's beyond handmade capability.
Yeah.
It requires machining.
We want to know if there is
a best that requires a turntable, that requires turning the work, that requires a rigid tool. Like, this is what we're looking for. So, like, the thing that takes the selection bias out of that pursuit is the machine, the scanning.
Yeah.
The scanning tells you the truth if you do it right. I don't know how to do it. Katowi's the one working on that, and the analysis and the alignment and everything else that goes into taking some random 3D object in a 3D space and getting it. How do you align it? Every surface is curved.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. And then how do you align multiple ones using the same methodology of alignment when they don't all have the same features?
Yeah.
It's a difficult challenge, but I'm really looking forward to what Katowi and Adam, the Artifact Foundation, is going to produce on this subject. So I don't think that the mystery is solved.
Yeah.
So those are my criticisms.
And it would be great if there was like a very large catalog of these objects that you could categorize, because it's clear after being to multiple museums and looking at collections of them that there are a few distinct types. You could put them into like, okay, this is the bowl kind, this is the vase kind, and then there's the cylinder kind, right? But I would like to know, are there any that are actually two of them exactly the same?
Yeah, so that's another thing we're looking for. I haven't found it yet. I don't know if
many of them have been broken. It's probably.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like if we were building a catalog of the global collection of these artifacts, every chance you get, and you keep adding to it, the more data you have, and then you could say like, look, there's this like the OG vase. That is a type. Right?
Yes, it is a type, and you see it.
Yeah,
elsewhere.
And sometimes they're this big, and sometimes they're tiny.
Which is interesting.
But it's the same shape.
And this is what Chuck was talking about, like the I always forget the name of this tool, but it's like a stylus. It's what is the name of the tool that allows you to like take a model and you trace the stylus along the model and it translates it to the
Yeah.
machine work.
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Chuck's told me like 10,000 times. I keep forgetting the name of it. But this tool, like that would be suggestive that it's a tool like that they have one model. And this tool is tracing it, and they can change.
You can just change the scale.
Some pinholes, and it will make a bigger one, make a smaller one. It's really cool. So that's also yet to be determined. I mean, and again, it's mind-boggling that there are possibly
pantographs. Somebody says.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's it. Even when it's told to me, I can't remember if that's it. I have to have an authority tell me what it is. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah, let me see if I can look it up.
But what was I gonna say? I forgot. Oh yeah, like machinists that look at these things are just like baffled by them. And to not, to produce the same style or typology.
A pantograph is a mechanical linkage device used to copy, resize, enlarge, or reduce, or engrave designs and shapes from a template or pattern onto a workpiece.
That would be amazing if they were using that.
Yeah.
Because that's what it kind of seems like. But we'll see. Again, we have to increase the data set. So that's my rundown on update on the vase project.
All right. Yeah, I'm interested to see, Cowdery's stuff. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Come on, bro.
It's difficult. I mean, we all have jobs.
Yeah.
We all have other things. He's a young guy. He's like, he's working on a YouTube channel. He took time off. Like he quit his job, took time off, and he just poured everything into this project. He has to get a job. Like it's at that point.
Yeah.
Get a job.
Get a job.
So he's working and also working on the project. So it's like it's slowed down, but it's close. We're close. So yeah, be patient, and we're just hiding all the evidence because we're wrong. Nobody wants to admit it. No, it's forthcoming. It's going to be good, and I think it'll be a healthy debate, a scholarly debate. I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and this is just one part of this larger investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it takes so much time because you need to get permission, or you have to get into the museum, or then you need to do something technical.
Yeah.
And then you have to have experts look at the information, and then you like this idea just go scan it. Like, well, what do you do with that data? You got a giant file with
oh my gosh,
with 500 billion points in it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you I can open that on my computer, but you can't analyze it without aligning it and all this. So that's just it's the same, the questions we get, like when I was in Egypt with Ben in December, the questions we got about the labyrinth, and a lot of it, it's well, why
the labyrinth?
The labyrinth.
Say it right, bro.
The labyrinth. Why hasn't this been done? Why haven't they gone in there? Why isn't this happening? It's the same, and this is, I sympathize because, man, when we were first looking into a lot of this stuff, you're like, what, you mean they haven't done this yet? It seems like there's an enormous amount of archaeological opportunity in multiple places around the world, and it just isn't happening.
Yeah.
Or if something does start to happen, it's a little tiny thing, like what they were doing in Peru, which was fantastic. They're looking for the legendary tunnels and stuff, but they're then you go see it, and it's a little square in front of one wall that they dug down, which is great, but that's it.
Yeah.
And it's just all over Giza. There's multiple shafts that we don't know if they've ever been completely dug out. There's not good records of all the archaeological stuff because the farther back you go, the more haphazard it was. It was tomb robbers and treasure hunters.
Yeah.
And then you have the antiquarians, and they go out there and they organize something ad hoc, and they're like, we're going to dig out this shaft because this one particular guy has decided that shaft is the entrance to Agartha or whatever. And then they dig down. There's no records of it, or his journals are lost, or, World War I happens. Who knows? I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So it's so then your question, the question is we're showing people this massive shaft on the Giza Plateau, the square shaft that goes down, and there's just junk at the bottom of it. And people are like, well, what's at the bottom? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
How deep is it? Nobody knows that either. There's no records. There's no information. Has anyone ever dug it up completely out? We don't know. Certainly not in modern times.
And a lot of times it's like, actually, they dumped a whole bunch of stuff from some other excavation in there to get rid of it.
That's
and you're
right.
like, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, Zawiat El Arian, that place, it's now a military base and it's full of trash because they've been using it as a dump.
Kills me. Yeah,
the labyrinth itself, it's underwater. Now we are pretty sure it's there. Like the evidence is very strong that there is something extraordinary under that ground. Yeah. Is it ever going to be dug out? I have my doubts, because at least with the current, something would have to change.
I know how to do it. I know exactly how to do it.
That doesn't mean it'll get done.
We need to plant a vineyard nearby that. We'll plant a vineyard.
What, for irrigation?
And then we drill a well.
Yeah.
And to try to keep the vineyard alive, it will just...
Yeah.
It'll suck all the water out of that.
Yep.
All around the entire area.
Yeah, if we planted 50 acres...
it's over, dude.
It's over. It would be gone. You're right.
Dry that whole place up. Put a big-ass well there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's multiple different ideas, like four massive pumps running all the time to suck a trough or a hole in the water level there, coffer damming the entire thing, which would be enormously expensive. You would have to divert the canal.
Nah, screw that. You just need a big well and a long pipeline. Just get it out of there.
Yeah, or multiple wells, because it's a huge structure. I mean, it's you need one at each corner.
You just got to get it down low enough to excavate some of it, like
right.
In the funnel.
But
of
that's the thing, is like, I think that if it's never been violated, because it was covered over even in ancient times, that there's still stuff in there that that no modern or even ancient, like relatively ancient robbers have gotten in there to steal the stuff out of there. Then you're gonna want to, once you get into the one part, you're gonna be like, okay, now we need to excavate the entire thing, because every room is going to be like Tut's tomb.
That's what I mean. That's proof of concept. You drill one well. You start small. You drill one well. You dig one hole.
Yeah.
As the water table goes down, and then it's like, okay, this is the real deal. Then then you get the funding. Then everybody shows up, and now you're drilling everything everywhere, and you're pumping it all out.
Yeah, and it's so anyway. My point about the greater,
we should start a nonprofit. It's like, we're drilling wells in Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
What are you doing with the water? Wow, we're just dumping it in the Nile.
Drilling wells in Africa.
It's a humanitarian project.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You see what happens to machinery in Egypt.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's going to be, you're going to need to, it's going to be a project. And then, but aside from that, there's the Gunung Padang in Indonesia, and all this. There's stuff in Peru, Malta. There might be stuff underwater there. There's other hypogeums. It's just, and then you're like, well, what do you mean nothing is happening? In Turkey, in Cappadocia, there's multiple underground cities.
Yeah.
There's no information about them.
Yeah.
You can't find maps. You can't find papers.
This is the thing, Max. The academics, they figure it out. Oh, well, we know what Gunung Padang is.
Yeah.
Or not, we know
mystery solved. Yes.
We know what is the cave system?
Oh, Darren Q.
Darren Q. We know what Darren Q was all about.
Yeah.
Like, done.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Right.
Once you know what it was, then it's like, well, okay, we create the tourism, then we're done here.
Yeah.
They've done the same thing with Göbekli Tepe, pretty much. It's like, we dug out this, we know what's going on.
Yeah.
Build the tourism, we're good.
Japan. The Plain of Jars. There's so many sites, and I'm interested in Shoria, but no one's going to get there. Like, some of these places are really weird. There's the place in Montana. Now the property owner at least is interested, and they're doing some work. The last we talked about it, they were digging out the back of the wall to see, like, is this actually a wall or is it something else, right? Rock wall outside of Dallas, right?
Yeah.
there's accounts that there was something really weird there. And then there's academics saying this is bullshit. And then there are people that live there are like, no, there's a fucking wall. We named the town after it.
Yeah.
But it gets destroyed.
Scott Walter showed up and he was like, mystery solved.
Right. What he does a sample on one rock and he's like, mystery solved.
Couple of rocks. Yeah. Oh, the magnetic things are aligned, so we're good.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. This is the nature of this entire project. It's a long, what's the name of the guy? Is it Sisyphus that's rolling the boulder up the hill?
I don't know.
That's what it feels like. Sometimes you're just like, God damn it. So anyway, I am optimistic that some of this stuff will happen. I'm just saying it's slow.
Yeah, it takes time.
And I remember, I mean, throughout the time we've been doing this podcast, and also a lot of the comments we used to get when we were doing Cosmography with Randall is people were like, I want to know the answers to this stuff before I die.
Yeah,
Randall, tell me the answers. Because, Randall will dance around it,
Yeah.
And I just think that it's a lot of us are not going to know most of the answers to these things before we die. A few things happen, but mostly nothing ever happens.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
I got another agenda too. I'm like, it's like, I want to increase the size of the Fertile Crescent.
Mm. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yes. That is an excellent project. And I think that
I want to increase the size of the pre-pottery Neolithic civilization. If we could get it into the Nile
you want
Valley.
to talk about this?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, is it a secret project?
No, not secret. I mean, I gave the presentation. We did a presentation on the podcast.
I think it might be a super secret project, folks.
No, I mean, it's like who wants to go look for artifacts in the desert?
It's fucking secret.
I mean, let's go. The hypothesis. Well,
you determined that there is like on PPNA maps, there's a sort of a line drawn of where they were, but you determined that there's a whole area where it's incredibly sparse, right? That only one guy found a couple of things, and you're wanting to like see, can we expand it? Can we do some proper?
Yeah. So the weird thing is that this one arrowhead, and to be fair, Megalithomania, just drew a blank on his name. Our buddy Hugh Newman. He pointed this out early on before I even knew about it, which was the Helwan Point that's from Helwan, Egypt, is found at the lowest levels of Göbekli Tepe. We've talked about this a lot. But it's like, okay, so there's a few specimens found in Egypt. There's some in the Fayum Oasis. There's some in Helwan, but not a whole lot. But I think the larger point is that, like, okay, well, is that pre-pottery Neolithic? Now they think that the ones that are in Egypt are pre-pottery Neolithic B.
Yeah.
But that's 8,000 years ago.
8,000.
Okay, so we have the whole Fertile Crescent. Now we're seeing like the pre-pottery Neolithic is like this massive thing that's just spread all over, that we're finding these Göbekli Tepe like structures all over the place. Well, it was like, well, there's this big blank spot in the Sinai Desert.
Yeah.
How did these artifacts get all the way to Egypt?
Or the other way around.
Or the other way
they went.
around.
Yeah.
But if it's pre-pottery Neolithic B, then it probably came from the Göbekli Tepe area, Kortik Tepe, that whole area near Şanlıurfa, and moved down south and then over across into Egypt, into the Nile Valley.
Yeah.
It's still amazing. Like the original idea was like, let's go to the Sinai where there's this big blank area and look for middens and look for these pre-pottery Neolithic B arrowheads.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out there's a whole bunch of pre-pottery Neolithic sites in the Sinai already that were being studied back in the 80s.
Okay.
There's like a bunch of them. So it's like, why isn't that included? No one's talking about that. So I'm like, so
why
wait a minute.
Isn't it included?
Göbekli Tepe, the pre-pottery, the Taj Tepeler civilization encompassed this massive area all the way into, like, all the way down south to the coast of the Sinai, across into the Nile Valley. This is a huge area to exist. So now it's like, well, when they were digging up these sites in the Sinai, that was before Göbekli Tepe was ever discovered.
There was no connection.
No, they're just like hunter-gatherers. They were concerned with, what kind of animals were they eating, stuff like that. They weren't really looking at doing big lithic studies, and they weren't really trying to find out exactly all these things about where they came. It was just like, these are the prehistoric people or whatever that lived here.
Yeah.
But now that the Göbekli Tepe and the Taj Tepe civilization, these supposed megalithic architecture, bedrock cutting, all of that stuff has entered the picture, and it's all in limestone.
Yeah.
Well, now that makes the Sphinx game. Like the Sphinx is game. They could have carved the Sphinx.
Right.
Could they have taken the massive blocks out of it and put them down into the Sphinx temple? I don't know. I don't know. But it just kind of opens up this whole thing. So it's like, man, if we could discover something definitively pre-pottery Neolithic A in the Sinai or in the Fayum Oasis, now we're talking like, okay, the same people that were building Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe were in Egypt, in the Nile Valley, right across from the Sphinx 12,000 years ago. And Robert Schoch says, hey, this thing is 12,000 years old due to the erosion. It's like, well, now we have something. So I think it's cool, and the possibility that the Taj Tepelera was like actually much more vast.
Yeah, that is a good project. And because it's sort of not in a spotlight anywhere, it'll be easy to do, right? It's not like
no
trying
one cares
to dig out a shaft on the Giza
Yeah,
Plateau.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we've had a bunch of super chats. Well, Edfu just now said he's trying to do a video on this very idea, Kyle. It definitely seems Turkey into Egypt, the artifacts found in Helwan are mainly surface
That's right.
finds. Yeah,
they're not being excavated. No one cares. That's the other thing. It's like when people are doing excavations in Egypt and they find some, like that point is I forgot the term of it, but it's a blade,
big flake,
blade and blade core technology. It's very simple. They don't care. I mean, they find tons of pottery. They're just like, they're just digging through potsherds. They're walking all over them. They just don't really care. They're looking for writing.
Yep.
They're looking for statues. They're looking for, there's just so much pottery and so many flakes of stone. It's like you can imagine these little pieces of some pre-pottery Neolithic A arrowhead is just tossed out with the rest of the trash.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't even be, you couldn't really even be criticized for thinking that little flake was just a flake off of some other work.
Right.
But it's actually an arrowhead. I mean, that's what I was thinking they were.
Yeah.
So, the other weird thing about it is that same style goes back like 300,000 years. Like we were making arrowheads just like that 300,000 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, they're almost unifacials. I mean, it's like,
some of them are not even. They're not even. They didn't do
any edge touch up.
Yeah, they just knocked
like you get the flake off.
They knock the blade off the core and then they roll with it.
Yeah.
So cool, great. I'm looking forward to seeing that video, bro. Thanks for the super chat.
Yeah, couple other super chats from earlier. Richard gave us $10. Says, "Did you learn anything new in Peru?"
Lots of new stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of new stuff from Peru. I mean, mostly is that it seems connected. Like the style of stonework there is slightly different than what we see in Egypt, but there's enough similarities that it looks like builders with the same mindset were working in the Andes.
Yeah.
At some point in the deep past, and I guess the other thing that struck me was that that they like to do imagery on a huge scale. The fact that
like geoglyphs.
Yeah, like the fact that old Cusco and Sacsayhuaman put together might be forming the shape of a gigantic cat with its head up on the mountain, and then the body down in the valley. Like this is, I find this phenomenal, and that this kind of imagery at scale is at work there, and you see it elsewhere in these places that. And then the question is who are these images for? This is an old school question, like Sitchin style question.
Who's looking down from the heavens
Nazca
on your
and
images?
Who's looking down at this gigantic cat that you made? Who can see it? You can't see it from anywhere, And then the enormity of the works, just the fact of the infrastructure that exists in those mountains. Some of it still works, like the water canals that are just, you see them going along mountains for miles and miles and miles, just this perfect straight line, and it's still works.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, somebody has to go up there every once in a while, and there's a landslide, you clear some rock, but who built them initially? And it still works. The water flows through Ollantaytambo to this day.
The other thing that really got me about it was seeing all the terraces everywhere, even when we're miles and miles from any civilization. There's just like entire mountains terraced all the way to the top, and then these massive flat valley areas where it's like, why would you terrace all that when you could farm in this valley? And the modern farms are down in those valleys. Now, of course, they use some of the terraces in some places to farm on, but for the most part, they have these huge farms in the valleys. So why weren't the ancient people farming the valleys? Like, there's no...
Right.
It's weird. The cities
the
are
valleys
up on the
are where you would farm. Yeah.
Yeah. The cities are up on the hilltops, the mountainsides.
Yeah.
The major works are up high. The terracing is all over the mountainsides, and like we're driving through areas where there's just literally nothing in the valley, and then there's terraces all over the mountain, and you're like, what is going on?
Right.
The modern population of Peru is much higher than it was back at the time of the Inca, and yet the Inca needed that much terracing all the way across the entire country to support their civilization. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It seems like way more than you would need.
And so at what time period would you only choose to farm the mountainsides and not the valleys? And the only thing I can think of is that a time period when the valleys were subject to massive inundations of flooding.
Yeah.
And that you have to go way back. You have to go back pre-Younger Dryas for that. Or maybe just shortly thereafter.
Like, on the one hand, you could say, well, there were probably worse stuff in the valleys, but it's gone now because the valleys are subject to periodic local flooding and all that. That's true, but you don't need the mountainsides. There's so much valley.
Yeah, exactly. So they would just come back and rebuild their valley, and we're not talking about, like, if you have a massive flood through a valley that happens once in an entire... in 100 years. Well, the civilization was only there for a couple hundred years, 200 or 300 years. So it's like they wouldn't just terrace all the mountains because of one flood.
Right. Exactly.
That went down one valley.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
it's not just one
every
valley.
island in the lake.
Yeah. Entirely terraced.
The entire island all the way around are terraces from the water up to the top. It's wild. And so you're thinking like every island, and then all the way down the Sacred Valley, both sides, there's terraces going up, and it's an enormous amount of terracing.
So I don't see how they support that. And I just think it's much older. Why did they need these roads like thousands of miles? All the roads are way up in the mountains too.
Yeah. Yeah. The Inca Trail. They call them the Inca Trails, but some of them
they're
wide
megalithic roads.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Megalithic roads. Yeah.
So pretty cool. And that was a big one for me. It's just like, dude, this is insane. Like if it trying to make sense of the purpose of that much terracing, the only thing I can get to is that it goes back to a time period when
you couldn't farm in the valley.
You could not farm in the valley.
Yeah,
they couldn't do what
they
was
needed.
Easy.
A lot of food, and they couldn't farm in the valley.
And then again, you have this major flooding at Lake Titicaca, the tilting of the bedrock, the positions of all of these things from, I can't remember the name of the site. I don't have the whole spiel about that, but the orientations of that whole site.
The Kalasasaya
Kalasasaya, thank you. Yeah, so when you combine it with that, and that there's a possibility that was like 17,000 years old, it's like, okay, this makes more sense.
Yeah, that's right.
Now the terracing and all of that stuff comes from that era.
Right. Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. From Okanobi, 6156, $10 says the song at the end of the last episode was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's coming out. It's coming out on the next album. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was requested. Or it was talked about on the episode, so I played it.
I don't know if he's talking about. It must be the live show, because the last episode we released was the Dragons episode.
Oh, okay.
So it must be
I
the
was
live
thinking
show.
the live show.
Yeah, the live show. Yeah,
Because people were talking about that song of many names.
yeah.
Solemn.
The trumpet
Horizon.
Yeah.
Saxy trumpets.
Saxy trumpets
Whatever it's called. In the Night is what it's called.
in the night.
But yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, Richard, thanks for your impressions. You're welcome, man. Thank you very much for the super chats and
Yeah, really
supporting the
appreciate
show. Yeah, really. Helps.
Tips. Hey, no
Tips.
tax. No tax on tips. Really appreciate it. Okay, so halfway through the show, let's do some.
There's one more.
Oh, okay.
Abdiel Hernandez, $5 says, is there an episode on why Vikings have Tiamat/World Serpent and Fenrir Sky Fox asteroid?
Huh.
No, we haven't done that. I think some of the World Serpent stuff we're going to go through with Professor Shy.
Cool.
We did a little bit of it already, but I think we're going to do more. And, he's gone really deep into the dragon and serpent mythology. So there should be more of that. But no, we haven't specifically done a deep dive into the Vikings and Norse stuff. So we should. And I think that's it. Well, there was one more up there.
Yeah, one other thing about the album, I will be, even if I'm not done before I leave to Egypt, whatever state the album is in, I'm putting it on the Patreon.
Okay, good.
So it's going on the SnakeBros Patreon. It's going on the Dynasty Patreon. Please sign up, support us, check out the album. And then, of course, when I get back, when we get it all mastered, get it all mixed right and everything, it'll be a little bit different. So don't get married to the version
get
you
married.
hear.
Or if you get married, you got to just prep those divvy papers right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hayden, $10. Thank you very much. No comment. The Boat Doctor, $2. $30. Donation was $2. Comment was $30.
Genius.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, bro.
And Frank,
Hey.
$18. Snakes.
Where is it?
Where is Frank?
Where is it? Where is he?
There it is. Frank.
Throw them Romans.
Frank. Thank you, bro. Yeah.
Gotta be careful when you're saluting Frank. You don't want to be. You don't want to be throwing Romans.
That's right. It needs to be
Frank. Thank you, Frank.
okay. What do we got? Oh wow, already an hour and 20 in. Okay,
That's what I was saying.
Let's
We're
knock out
halfway-
some emails.
We're halfway through because the intro was like 15 minutes or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Well, it's 8:12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Emails. We're still in 2024.
I need an email jingle.
You've got mail. Okay. So yeah, this is October 2024 from Eli. Yeah, Eli Porter. Okay, it says greetings from Wardsboro, Vermont. I was introduced to your show by the guy who works at the dump when he saw some of my art. I'd love to send you guys.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. So you went to the dump with your art? Like, were you throwing this stuff away? And this guy was like, bro, what's up? He saw some of your art.
I guess so. I
He's
don't
at
know.
the
I
dump.
was introduced to your show by the guy who works at the dump when he saw some of my art. Why was your art at the dump, bro? Anyway, he says, I'd love to send you guys some as a thank you for all the hours of enjoyment and education you have given me, and him too. Love the humor and all the 40-something-year-old guy references as well. Just days before I started listening, I had a dream in which somebody handed me a flip phone and I had a conversation with my ex. I told the guy at the dump about this strange coincidence, and he was like, send them an email. Excellent. But at the time, I thought that would be annoying. But now, after having listened way more, I've come to find out it's just the sort of crazy you guys are all about. Yeah. This, longtime listeners will know, like I've had this question about why doesn't certain types of technology show up in our dreams? And especially this, all of us are using this all the time, and some of us more than others, but multiple can be multiple hours a day are used with the phone, especially if you're a doom scroller or you're playing games on it or whatever. And yet how often does it show up in your dreams? Right? And I feel like this is an interesting thing. I don't know why it's interesting, but I feel like it's interesting.
It's still, I still can't even tell you if I had a dream where I actually used legit.
I've had a few. I've had a couple, and it stands out to the point where when I wake up, I'm like, oh my God. But usually in the dream, when I get the device and I'm trying to do something with it, it doesn't work properly. Yeah, it fails to work properly.
But that's the same.
Sometimes I can't even turn it on.
It's like I can't even use a Frisbee in my dream. You know what I mean? It's like the Frisbee's not working.
Right. So, yeah. It's like there's something. And then computers. Like I've been in vehicles in dreams. Like cars or whatever. But usually you're not even in a vehicle. You're going in and out of a house. There's lights. But I don't know if I've ever used an old school phone in a dream or heard the radio or turned on a TV or used a computer at all. I definitely spend hours a day on my computer.
Yeah, it's something about the screens. It's something about the screens.
Could be the screen.
Yeah. Because guns work. I use guns a lot in my dreams. And I use knives.
Yes, weapons work.
Yeah, weapons work.
Weapons will show up.
And my car. I used to drive the 4Runner a lot.
Yeah.
In my dreams, and of course it would fly. Like I would jump something and it just
just keeps going.
And then I'm like going back down, and I'm thinking, oh, we're gonna die, and it's just like,
yep, exactly.
It keeps cruising. It's like, yes, this car is awesome.
Yeah,
but yeah, not screens.
Yeah,
it's weird. I bet if we were all watching plays all the time, like live plays, we would dream about those. Like
probably. Now I had somebody point out to me one time that, they were like, well, maybe it has to do, because, there's this idea that you can't read in your dream. I don't know if this is true, but somebody was like, do you ever have dreams where you're reading a book?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So maybe your brain just does not, because your entire, that part of your brain, the part that whose job is to look at symbols and interpret them into language, is just shut down.
I've read messages. Like I've seen writing like on stuff, but never reading a book. Of course, I don't really read books.
Right. Much. I've read tons of books. I don't remember if I've read books in dreams either.
Don't listen to audiobooks in my dreams.
I definitely don't do that. Yeah.
In fact, I don't think I've ever had headphones in my dreams.
Never put headphones on. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Never listened to, never listened to anything in my dreams. Yeah. So there's like a long list of tech that doesn't show up in dreams, and I don't know. Like, what is a dream anyway? I was reading something.
Gosh, that's too much.
Yeah.
We can't go there. We got to get the next email.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What are dreams? Like, that's a easy question.
Yeah. That's a real easy one. Okay, so back to the email that we never even finished. Okay. But yes, you're right. Thank you for emailing me 2 years ago about this. So he says, so if you would like some of my art, send me your mailing address and t-shirt size so I can send you some snake skins of my own design. Also,
sweet.
No need to read this on the show, but if you do, snakes! Thanks, guys. Love the show so far. I'm still back at episode 116, but I'm catching up. Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much. And I will reply to you, even though it's really late. I will reply to you and give you the old one-up box address. All I was going to say, I don't remember where I saw this now. It could have been in the Discord. It could have been on X, but somebody was saying they were doing lucid dreaming. And they were like, so I spent all this time learning how to lucid dream so that I basically wake up in my dreams, right?
Yeah.
So that now I'm lucid. I'm awake. I know that I'm dreaming in the dream. And he was like, and I wanted to see what would happen in a lucid dream if I went to sleep in the dream. And he was like, so in the dream, I become lucid. I go to my room, I go to my bed, I lay down and go to sleep, and I woke up in real life. And he was like, I choose to not think about this anymore. So I just wanted to say that, like, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, what are dreams in the first place?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the guy was at the dump, with his easel, and he was just like, maybe he does art of trash.
Yeah.
And so he's just over there, he's painting the trash and the guy at the dump.
Yeah. You know what? You know who I thought of immediately?
That looks good.
Yeah. I thought of the guy from Iron Giant.
Which one?
The artist.
Forgot.
He goes to the dump and he gets stuff and he was building things out of parts from the dump. Yeah.
That's what people in the chat were mentioning. Artists go to the dump to get things to make art with.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good point. I think painting the dump itself is more entertaining. Like, who does that?
Okay. Let's see. This one is about missing 411. And it is from Harley. It says, hey guys, I'm all caught up, so it's rough waiting for another sode, but I'm glad they're still coming. This last one got me thinking. And again, he's saying last one, but this was in October of 24. You mentioned that a kid said that he had hid from a helicopter and a motorcycle. So this is one of the stories we were telling in Missing 411. I know they said that wasn't the case here, but I think kids are generally trained not to talk to strangers. If they were alone and scared, they may tend to hide from the searchers. Strangers, strange voices, planes and helicopters, etc. Possibly to the point of passing out in their hiding spot and not being found at all, or at a later time in a previously searched area if they give up hiding and come out. I also wonder if their hiding spot may be in a den for a bear or wolf. Such animals could then, kill them basically, and then return the child to a beaten path. Also, the den could be a hiding spot for someone that doesn't want to be found, therefore taking the person to a place otherwise located so they won't be found themselves. Some could be hidden indefinitely, and some could be returned to the beaten path to lead searchers away from finding their hiding spot. After all that I've heard from y'all, I believe there are hidden people or civilizations that most of us don't know about. They would have to go to great lengths to keep hidden, especially if they have done so for hundreds of years. Some of them would probably be pretty creative with their tactics. Some may want nothing to do with our kind, and others may want our tech or intel or maps and such. Others may be surviving on any animal they can find to eat. It's not far-fetched to think there could be folks that want to stay hidden and have processes in place to do just that. These processes could include methods of memory loss like chloroform, poison darts, or pressure points that make somebody pass out. Then the person can be moved to wherever. If the person reappears back where they started or far from there, the search stops and they never find the hidden people that don't want to be found. I agree with this. This part about some of the missing 411 cases seem to me like there's some kind of misdirection going on. And the biggest thing is that the authorities mostly are treating it as though somebody is lost, and it's not therefore an investigation. It's a search, which are two totally different things. And then if the person is found, the search stops because they were like, well, they were lost and now they're found. It isn't an investigation into a crime. So I do think sometimes it looks like a disappearance takes place and then the search happens so quickly and is so enormous that the whatever's responsible for the disappearance decides, okay, I'm not going to be able to get away with this. So they plant the body in a place where it'll be found, or even the person if they're still alive. Sometimes they're found and they can't really remember what happened. So if the person is still alive and you can somehow make them forget, or they're drugged or something like that, you put them in an area where they're going to be found, or the body, if they're already dead, you put them in an area where they're going to be found because you want the attention to go away. Mm-hmm. So I agree with that.
I also agree with the kids hiding. I mean, my kids hide from me when I come home from work.
Yeah.
They run and hide, and it's a game. They like
But
to
on
hide
day
from
two-
things. But they like to hide from things.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's already like, it's sort of, I didn't teach them to like just hide from cars and hide from every moving thing that when someone's coming, they just run and hide.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that they do. I remember walking down the street with my buddies when I was a little kid. Cars come in, jump in the grass.
Yeah.
We're hiding. And we're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this is awesome.
You
They
think
can't
we're
see
awesome.
us.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't know we're here.
Yeah.
So there is this tendency to do that just all the time. And so if they and then if you add fear to this, then maybe that it becomes extreme.
Yeah.
And they just run and hide from anybody, especially if they're already scared. They're trying to find their mom, they're trying to get home, and then there's a stranger walking in the woods calling their name, and they're just like, oh my gosh, run, hide.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
All right.
Also, there's plenty of legends and old stories about people that live underground, people that live inside of mountains. I mean, just in the U.S., there's tons of Native American tales of encounters with strange beings that live in an area, but they're underground or they're in a mountain, you know. And then all the UFO stuff, I would not be surprised if something is here that's not us, that's highly intelligent, that lives under the water and or under the ground. And some of it may have been here for a long time and has zero interest in interacting with us, but they take samples every once in a while for some reason. And they choose to take their samples in a way that is going to cause the least amount of upset. You know, so somebody's hiking, well, you can go up there and
Greatest advantage of getting away.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like, you know, if you really want to put on the tinfoil hat, that's what I wouldn't be surprised.
Hayden Mossup says, I got a sick falcon, bro. I'd be like, you need to take him to the vet, dude.
I don't get it. What?
I guess he's talking about using a falcon to search, but your falcon's sick.
Yeah. A sick falcon.
Lame joke. Just take it to the vet.
Okay, more from this. So he says, these ideas only fit some of the 411 tales at first, but if the hidden civilization has some advanced understanding of physics that we don't, then they could relocate people, dead or alive, to any place or time. From all the ones you have shared, I have come to the temporary conclusion that there are, in fact, beings that have technologies we know nothing about and therefore don't understand so many of these cases. The particular one I remember was a skier in New York that disappeared and found himself in California. Yeah, that was a weird story.
I thought of that one I thought of that one earlier.
Yeah.
When he was writing about this.
It seems to me they made a mistake that time. I always think about teenagers that misbehave. Maybe a hooligan was showing off to his friends and inadvertently overdid it. He probably got in trouble with the elders if it didn't go unnoticed. It seems with most civilizations, there are folks that are not totally into what's going on around them. They may return the person alive. Then there are the ones that are fully a part of it and they disappear the person completely. Then there are the hooligans that are playing around and nearly mess it up for everyone. P.S. I have been catching up on Randall's stuff, and I missed after getting hooked on your show. I love him and Brad, and we'll continue listening in on them, but it's not the same without y'all.
Oh, thanks, you, buddy.
Man. Thank you. Hooligans.
His falcon is a car.
His falcon is a car.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so again on the 411 stuff, I've always been fascinated by missing persons cases, and there are some really weird ones. And it's maybe you could even say similar to the vases. The vases overall show you something very interesting, and then you look into it and you're like, okay, there are categories here. Some of them are easy to explain.
Yeah.
And then there's a few, and they start to stand out where you're like, well, this is actually not very easy to explain and presents a gigantic mystery, right? And that's how I feel about the 411 cases. There are some that are obviously extremely mysterious. Then there are other ones that, without those extremely mysterious, obvious cases, wouldn't be that interesting, except that they fit this pattern that you've now identified with these ones that stand out, right? And then there's other ones where I'm just like, well, there's so little information here that you just have no idea, right? They fit one or two pattern points, but it's so old or there's so little info that you can't tell. But it's great to like gather them all together and say, look, there's something weird going on here.
Yeah.
And the way that it might tie into everything else that we're interested in is just, I don't know. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's the weirdest possible answer. That's just how I look at the universe now. I'm like, the universe itself.
The most interesting is the most probable.
Yeah.
That's the old.
Yeah. The
Musk.
Yes.
Axiom.
Right. The most entertaining thing is what's going to happen. It just, I don't know. I just feel like the universe, we talked about this the last live, that the universe itself is so incredibly unlikely that there is no thing that can happen that's too unlikely. So, okay. This one is called.
Oh, sick means cool. Dang. Didn't know that.
It's sick, bro. Terrible jokes. Okay.
Thanks for the heads up.
Okay, stone block nubs. This one is from Ananda. So says, hi. I enjoy watching your podcast and have followed this thread of exploration for a few years. While watching your video from the Cosmic Summit and thinking about nubs, something occurred to me when you were looking at the Chinese mega blocks. Okay, so I guess this is the unfinished presentation. When quarrying stones of that size, so they must be talking about the Yangshan quarry, right?
Okay.
When quarrying stones of that size, you would want to make sure they didn't move while you were cutting material around the faces of them. In other words, there is so much material that it comes closer to mining than it does to quarrying. And in mining, they leave a certain amount of material. They do this for safety and stabilization of the remaining rock.
Yep.
If you left some bridges, quote unquote bridges, between the cut stone and the quarry face, this would keep the large stones from cracking off or putting undue stress on other parts of the rock, especially when cutting underneath. So it would make sense to leave these until the last moment and then only cut the nubs which would break the stones free, and those nubs would remain until final dressing. Knowing that many stones would be quarried simultaneously if they were using a different cutting mechanism which ground the stone or drilled the stone away, then it would look extremely similar to how miners, the actual mining machines, work today. I've been down in mines like this, which is what made me think of it. You'd ideally want to leave some supporting nubs on every stone you will quarry, but not necessarily all stones would have them, especially if you were cutting entire sheets or walls of stone at a time, and moving those slabs and then further cutting them up later on, which would make sense from an efficiency standpoint, not necessarily an easy standpoint. So cheers, and thanks for sharing your explorations with us. Ananda, a geospatial expert with 15 years of LiDAR experience and world-class geodetic knowledge.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that. And it just was making me think, though, we did see some of these massive, what we were calling quarries in Turkey, and they left columns and things inside
Yes.
the quarry.
She sent a photo from inside of a mine.
Yeah. It's like a salt mine.
I
or
can
something
show
like
this. Uh-oh.
that. Yeah. Apologies for the lack
There
of
it goes.
share screen. This is so profesh.
Yeah, look
at
how
this.
professional we are.
So yeah, in Turkey, we saw a lot of that in these, and we were calling them quarries because
Yeah, he called
could
like
see-
Bosda Caves. Is that what it was called?
I
think.
can't remember,
We go in there and it's like,
but it could be mining also. I mean,
yeah,
mining for
mining. What? Mining rock?
mining for rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they were probably
We saw them in Cairo as well.
if they were quarries, they're following veins or layers in
Yeah.
this case since it's limestone of good quality material.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe it's a better condition. I mean, I can't imagine. How is it
Apparently-
better conditions to be in a cave than to be out in the open with all the dust and everything? It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
The need for lights and all of the, like how?
I don't know. But
Torches.
multiple ancient quarries that we've been to are completely covered. Like you go in and it's more like a mine than a cave, except that it's, I mean, more like a mine than a quarry, except that it has the same scale as a quarry.
Yeah. Crazy.
When you think of mines, if it's not a salt mine, you think of tiny tunnels and all this kind of stuff. And these are humongous like man-made caverns in Turkey and in Egypt. So, okay, next one. This is Big Head, our reptilian brother. It's called Catastrophic Flooding. Bros, I am from a small town in Southwest Virginia. I don't know if y'all are aware of the extent of the floods here, but this link is an example. I thought maybe you can help raise awareness and possibly some kick-ass footage for you and Randall and guys to look at. There is not a word or phrase in my lexicon that could express the amount of devastation in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. And I'm a pretty verbose SOB. But my path is Joe Rogan, Randall, Ben, and then I found the Brethren Bros. Real shit, y'all got me through some tough times. I'm a veteran. I've seen and done some wild shit, gentlemen. Sometimes those things, well, you know where this is going. Y'all helped me latch onto something so I didn't feel alone. But enough of the crybaby BS. Just know what you guys do does mean something. You have impacted my life in more ways than y'all can imagine. And before I forget, fuck those people who don't like your laughter. That shit saved my life. Don't change a motherfucking things, bros. Oh, and yeah, snakes!
Awesome.
Thanks,
Dude, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank
really
you.
appreciate that. Man,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we laugh. What can I say?
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I do a lot of
People
laughing.
get mad.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. People get mad at the laughing. People get mad at all the jokes. I mean, we
They don't like the beards.
Yeah.
You know, we're too shiny.
Too shiny. Whatever. We're too
great.
red.
Yeah.
In
too
this
red.
camera, we're too red.
Super shiny.
We're less
Look at
red.
this.
Less
The
red here.
shines. Oh, well, they went away.
Yeah. The shines.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Got the
Mirror
shine on.
finish.
Shine
Gloss.
on. Mirror finish. Been polished. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. So this is from T, and it's called "I May Have Summoned a UFO." Hello, brothers. I want to start by saying I love you guys. I am a 22-year-old male living in very rural Idaho. Potato internet has a whole new meaning out here. Please refer to me as T for anonymity. I am an occultist. I started practicing rituals about a year to a year and a half ago. I thought that I was a good healer, but you two far surpass me in my abilities. Your ability to laugh at yourself and to make me laugh is truly something magical. Never stop laughing. It is the best medicine.
Another laugh one.
Yeah. Kyle, I love you in particular for your realist and skirp derp takes. Even if every time you make a joke about drawing a pentagram, it felt like salt being applied to my wounds directly. Russ, I am envious of your reading skills. You have such a way to keep my brain engaged. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah.
So he says, hold on to your butt flaps and bowling pin hats. I have a story to tell.
Oh.
Take it how you will, but after starting occult practices, odd occurrences have filled my life. I have not told many people about this because it does make me sound like a freak, but a serpent's got to do what a serpent's got to do. So, one night, it was late fall to the start of winter. No snow on the ground here yet. I had just finished my ritual circuit an hour previous, which at the time was all Golden Dawn rituals I had found on the internet.
Dang.
1, Kabbalistic cross. 2, banishing or invoking ritual of the pentagram. 3, middle pillar exercise. And 4, God form meditation. My friend and I were out walking one of our outbuildings back toward the house when something over the southern horizon caught my eye. And I'll be a snake's uncle, a floating green orb of light was hovering between two trees. It was about a half a mile off if I had to estimate, and it was about the size of a quarter held at arm's length. I looked for a laser trail, like from a laser pointer, but could find nothing, and it had no backdrop to land on except the sky behind it. I turned to my friend and said, "Holy shit, do you see?" And that's all I could say before this tiny ball of light zipped across the sky to the southwest in a matter of seconds and disappeared. I was the only one to see it. Fun tidbit, I was the only one doing rituals. My friend knew about them but had never done one. This ties into the theory of Marty's that the rituals could be summoning things. Still haven't heard any babies in the woods yet, so I must be doing something right. Dude, stay away from the babies in the woods. That's right. With reverence, from T.
Okay. It was the Vatican. They don't like your pagan rituals. They sent a green orb to scare you.
Send a Vatican green laser orb to this guy.
No, seriously, I it's like I have these these skirp derps where it's just like, really, but then when you start describing how you did this, I'm like,
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. So like a part of me is really like, yeah, there might be something legit to that. And that's,
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
What, the painting a pentagram and doing candles and all this stuff?
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm not a person that does
Lead
this.
paint?
But what?
Lead paint?
Lead paint?
We're talking, can you use acrylic?
Is it
Can
lamb's
you
blood?
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking here?
You have to
Ochre?
You have to, like sacrifice a chicken. Yeah.
I'm in both camps. I can't help it.
Wow, a fence sitter.
No,
Both camps.
not on the fence.
Okay, he's not on the fence. You're actually in
I'm
both
in
camps.
one, and then when the other one, and then suddenly I'm in the other one. It's like, I'm a schizo, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Carl, spinning potato. Is it spinning potatoes? I don't know, but it does seem like there's real effects, right? I do think.
What are you talking about?
Don't spin potatoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We had this whole long discussion about the potato spinning.
Yeah.
And
that's what solves the problem.
Drawing pentagrams and putting salt on stuff is really about getting yourself into this mental frame of mind for the ritual, right? So the ritual itself is a process that gets you into the right mental frame of mind to cause this thing to happen. But I don't know.
I don't want to. I'm not trying to pick at the analogy, but we have to explain to the audience about the spinning potatoes.
Yeah.
So when we worked for a call center for a cell phone company, and they told us a story in training, like, do not do this to customers. And the story was this guy, this genius guy, got fired.
Yeah.
For doing this
That's right.
genius prank where we basically had a button in the computer that would refresh their signal, and it fixed like 90% of the problems people called in with.
Yeah.
And so this guy would get a customer on the phone, and he's got to pass his day answering call after call after call, push the button, fix their signal. So he starts getting creative, and he tells this old man, like, okay, the guy's like, I don't know, my phone, it's not working, it's bad, blah, blah, whatever. And he's like, okay, do you have a potato?
I'm going to help you fix this.
Yeah. Do you have a potato? And the old man's like, what? Yeah. And he's like, okay, get the potato, wrap it up in tin foil.
Yep.
And take it over to your TV and spin the potato on top of the TV and then check your phone.
Right.
And like he talks the guy through this whole thing. The guy's over at the TV. Okay, put the potato on there, spin it, and check your phone. He spins the potato, and the guy pushes the button and refreshes the signal. He's like, "Oh my god, it worked!
It works! Wow, you're a genius!"
And of course, the tyrannical call center was monitoring this and fired the guy for it.
Yeah, fired him. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the point. The analogy is like you're doing this ritual and you think that that's what's fixing it, but really there's something else. There's something else back there pushing the button.
Exactly.
There's some other more complicated system.
Right. There's some other process that's going on, and maybe all the pentagram drawing and stuff is potato spinning.
Yeah. Great
possible.
Analogy.
Yeah.
Love it. Great joke.
So whether or not you spin the potato actually has no bearing on whether this stuff will work, except that it may get attention, right? That's the question. But yeah, man, this guy's, he's an adult. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, snake's got a snake, bro.
Snake's got to do what a snake's got to do.
You have to test the water sometimes.
That's right. And if it really is connected,
dip your toe out there.
Yeah, and if it really is connected to all this other stuff, then I don't know. Somebody's got to do it, I guess.
Yep. Do it for science.
Do it for science. Okay.
Hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. I hope you're still out there and doing good.
Yeah, it's been radio silence since 2024, bro. Let us hear back.
Please.
Okay. All right, this is just called listener communication from Alex. So he says, "Hello, good sirs. I have a question for both of you. I've been listening to the podcast for about 6 months now, to and from work, and first got into ancient history and aliens through Randall Carlson and a little bit of blurry creatures. And I've been seeing Y-Files pop up on my YouTube feed and watched one on the Black Pyramid in Alaska. So now to get to the question. 1, do you have specific sources that you get information from and sources you try to avoid? And 2, have you two in earlier episodes I have not yet gotten to, or in your personal time done any research on this so-called Black Pyramid? I appreciate everything you all do for the SnakeBros community and to give these researchers and topics a platform." Okay, so on the sources.
I like old sources.
Older ones, yes.
Mostly.
Old sources are good. It's also good to track down where people are saying something is coming from if you can. Follow the citations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'd be surprised at how often you'll see a sort of a blanket comment and then it cites something and you go read the citation and you're like, I can't really see where this is saying that.
Yes.
So it's good to track down the citations, but as for modern sources, not really.
So I'll just say something about that too. There's a lot of new faces, I guess, in this whole space,
yeah,
which is great, but I don't know. It's just, I've watched some of it and I just can't really, there's nobody that's like, you know, bringing me in like, yeah, this is awesome.
Right.
It's kind of like rehashing some of the same old things. What about this? It's kind of like they're new on the scene, so maybe it's new for them. Like we got on the scene, it was all new for us. There were people before us that had been studying this stuff for a decade. So it's kind of like I don't know. For me, the older sources are better.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And like Russ, I mean, I've actually more for my research, I really tend like heavily on published papers. And
Published papers are good when they're available on the subject.
And yeah, of course.
Because you want to know the baseline of the...
there's only a few subjects like that. I mean, you can't really... There's not going to be published papers.
But even if there's not published papers, you still want to know, like, what is the baseline story that has been told about this subject, right? Most of the time, the baseline story is told about any given subject we're talking about is that it's not real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It didn't happen this way, right? And so Kyle and I used to joke on the old shows, like, we know that story.
Yeah.
Like, everyone actually knows that everybody thinks that this didn't happen. Now let's talk about what it might be like if it did.
Yeah.
Right?
And so you have to yell when you say that.
Yeah, we know that. I know.
It's great.
Yeah. Another thing is like after a long, I don't know, after doing this for such a long time, you can kind of, when you come across stuff and you begin to read it or get into it or whatever, I don't know, there's a kind of a feeling, and I do go with my gut sometimes where I'm just like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I mean, there's like red flags. You're like, oh, okay, this mindset, this way of looking at stuff. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. If it's overly antagonistic or
everyone else is stupid.
Right. Or like I've got all the fucking answers.
I figured it all out.
Yes. Like all of those things are red flags for us because these are mysteries and like it's a slow process, like I said. And so there's some red flags, you know.
Yeah. And so I'll just go back to when you can find published papers on the subject. I know people are just like, oh my gosh, you're going standard model, blah, blah, blah.
Standard model, God.
But the standard model has a lot of value, especially in the details. Because mostly, like, we're told this sort of surface story about the standard model. And almost every time I've done this, when I go into the papers and read the details, I learned this from Randall. He was reading papers that were peer-reviewed and published and finding in the details little things that they admit. Yeah. Little things that they point to that's like, oh, okay, we're just going to push that one off. And as you read more papers, you find they're sometimes both pointing to these things. You know, there's more than one. And then that leads you to something else. Okay, well, I'm going to look in this area. I'm going to dig into this area. Find every paper you can on that and read that. And they start pointing at other... And so it actually becomes addicting to me to read through these papers, find these little things that they admit, things that they say, well, we can't actually figure this out. We don't really know. Those are the gems.
Yeah.
And so I love that because then in the process, you become very well versed on the standard model and the holes in it.
Yeah.
Where the fallacies are, where the lack of argument is, what evidence that they point out, but then don't discuss, don't even talk about it, don't dig into it further. So I don't know. Randall does this, you know, this is how he put together his entire library on the Younger Dryas. It was through published papers and it's amazing. And he's the guy with his take. You know, he learns this from one of the oldest guys, Brett's, who was publishing on it first. And he follows the whole thing all the way through, and it's amazing. So it's a really good method. That's what I would suggest.
Some of the most fascinating works on some of these topics that we've gone through on the show, old books like Velikovsky, Earth in Upheaval, Cremo's, Forbidden Archaeology, or Hidden History of the Human Race. So like what they do is the same thing. They're looking at the old papers and like, look at all this data that was gathered that no one discusses anymore. Mm-hmm. It's never been addressed.
Yep.
It is not included in the current model of the world, and yet
these
here
are the
it
nuggets.
is.
These are the nuggets that these guys were great at it. You know, Randall and
so it's old sources. Old sources are great because they had fewer like I feel like I mean even Fort did the same thing. He's digging through periodicals and like reports and just
Ben
finding.
does this too. I mean, he reads all the old books.
Yeah.
He goes through all the papers, from these old archaeologists to get as well-rounded understanding of the entire idea, the history of the discovery, the holes in the ideas, the things that were debated and never really resolved between academics.
And sometimes when you're doing that, you find something, you're like, oh, actually, this question could be answered fairly easily today.
Yes.
But no one has asked it again since this guy asked it in 1849.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. That's where the gold nuggets are. So it's like, it's this, but again, with modern sources, you just, I don't know. I guess the best advice I can give is like read everything you're interested in and take it all with gigantic grains of salt until you start putting together a larger picture.
Yeah, I would say YouTube it's good for some things.
Yeah.
But in this space, I feel like there's not a whole lot of modern stuff happening that's great.
Yeah.
I think Ben's great. Obviously.
Yeah. I guess he just went live recently too.
How dare he?
He's like overlapping our
Never
live.
mind, Ben's not great.
Yeah, screw Ben. And hey, Pete gave us 30 Australian bucks. Says, Brothers of the Serpent, Pete, Southern Australia in the house and sweating it up. It's 30 degrees Celsius here. Oh,
Dang.
yeah. Well, we're about to have our one cold front in Texas here.
Wait, what does that mean, 30 degrees? That's great. That's great weather. What are you talking about? Right? 30?
30
Celsius.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. 30 is great. 40 is when it starts to suck, right?
It gets hot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks so much for the super chat, buddy.
There was another one too. Oh yeah, here we go. The Boat Doctor, $50 says, I thought this was funny.
Hey.
Glad you got the joke. I listen to you guys every day, and as a technician and machinist, I have good theories you can attempt to shut down. I've sent some emails. Please check and respond. I have.
We're
getting there, bro. We're working on it.
Wait, what was funny? Let me go back.
Was he the one that said,
It was a car?
yeah,
Oh, man.
he's got a falcon?
I bet it was funny. Now I want to find it.
Okay. One more email, and then we'll call it a night. Let's see what we got here.
I can't find the joke.
Oh, there was still a question about the Black Pyramid in Alaska. Okay, so this is one of those things where when it was like there was information about it, everything that I found on it was I filed it away, and this is really interesting, but I have no way of finding more out about it right now. So I didn't do any kind of deep dive into it. I wouldn't be totally surprised if there was something like that up there. But I have no way of knowing if it's true or not. So I know that's not a complete non-answer. But it's the same as like the people that, sometimes there's claims arise that there's something in Antarctica as well. And it's interesting, but that's about it. And I just put it into standby. Okay. We'll wait to hear more, but obviously because I haven't done a deep dive, maybe there has been more about it. And I just don't know yet, but you can't research everything.
Bro, you never had your tea. I'm going to make it for you.
Oh, okay. Well, we're almost done.
Yeah, it's all good. You got to try this. It's great.
Maybe I'll look up this Y-Files episode. This is the other thing is I don't consume any YouTube at all. People are constantly telling me like, oh, you got to see this. And I'm just like, yeah, I know. I don't watch, I listen.
I
usually.
do consume a lot of YouTube, but it's mostly UFC and forging swords and knives and making stuff in the woods.
Yeah. I do like the
like-
making stuff.
The making stuff videos
Yeah.
are awesome.
But I don't watch them. Like if it comes across something, I'll watch clips, but I don't sit down and watch. Scully Fox, $20. Hey fellas, did you catch Randall and Graham's recent clip about the Atlantis location? What do you think is more likely, Azores or Caribbean? No, I did see that Randall and Graham did a podcast together. I have not watched it yet. I need to listen
Yeah,
to
I
it.
haven't watched it either. But I mean, based on Randall's giant series on Atlantis, which was the first thing we did on Cosmographia. I mean, I'm just like, yeah, that's a really good
Azores
candidate. I'm just sticking with that, but it's going to be way down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Way down there.
Way down.
So,
Okay.
thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is a good way to finish it up with. This one is definitely sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek in some cases. It's called Of Great Importance from Joe. Hello to both of you. Seems as though you've gotten a little bit sloppy or maybe complacent in the recent episodes. I could list many examples of the tells, but I won't, as this would be pointless. Regarding episode 319, Kyle, your remark about the standard issue sandals tells me that one or both of you have obviously had military training of some sort. Let me guess, some worthless 3-letter agency has you two doing a PSYOP podcast that beats around the bush regarding things such as the pyramids, when anyone with access to the internet can read books about the goofy little 4-H clubs, the secret societies of our civilization, and discover the truth of many of these matters that you not so eloquently beat around the bush. Many of the people in your Discord, including myself, have had discussions on this very topic outside of Discord so that you and your mods can't block us for questioning. I'll say it again.
Is sneaky, man.
I'll say this again.
I'm going to join your private discussions and block you.
Many people in your Discord discuss the possibility of this being a government psyop. So I'll end with this. If you guys are legit, then keep up the great work. If not, we are literally already onto you and your agenda, so you might want to try harder. Randall as well, since we want to literally beat around the bush on every subject. And while we're at it, the Cosmic Summit Instagram page is another major tell of some of the posts on that page beginning with a completely random video of someone doing something completely unrelated to the content of that page in the hopes of grabbing attention. Even if it's an honest organization, why the hell would you allow the person running that page to make such a stupid decision? All that does is make people not want to watch the videos. Anyway, have a good morning, Russ. And I'll see both of you in your dreams. Quite literally, I might add, astral projection is far more common than you might think. An individual with the right skill set can figure out if your show is fake or not simply through those means. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, don't visit me in my dreams, please. They're scary enough.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, if we are a psyop, then you're totally onto us. If we're not a psyop, keep up the good work.
What my favorite thing is he's like, if you are a psyop, you need to work harder at it.
Yeah. Do better.
Yeah, do better. Yeah.
That's good. All right, great. We have one more thing. We got to do the Marty update.
Yes, that's right. We went to see Marty this past weekend. And I guess what I would say is he's way better than when we saw him before. Yeah. He is improving a lot. He's still nonverbal. He cannot speak. He does attempt to communicate, but he just can't do it yet.
Yeah, what's interesting is that I feel like the first time we went to see him, he was attempting to speak a whole bunch, but it was almost like he wasn't aware.
He didn't know he couldn't do it.
Couldn't really do it.
Yeah.
And now this time we went and visited him. He would attempt to speak, but then he would just be like he knows, like he can't get complex ideas across.
Yeah.
But it was really cool hanging out with him. We were doing all the talking, and we did talk a little bit about some snaky issues. And like Russ starts talking about something, and Marty's just like,
yeah, he locked in. Yeah.
He's just totally he's getting. I feel like he's just fully contemplating what's going on. And so that's great.
And the people at the facility said he's cognizant.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on. He just can't. It's like all of his inputs are fine. It's his outputs that are broken.
His motor skills are improving greatly, but people ask him if he can write. He doesn't have like great use of his hands yet. He can't perfectly control them. He can't. I don't know if he can write. We didn't try, but we played games together. We were like shooting hoops. There's one of those little like arcade style like basketball hoops.
Yeah.
And dude, he's throwing that ball. It's like, he's building the motor skills, and these are part of the things that the the place he's at, they specialize in like neurological damage and rehabilitation.
Yeah.
So they have all these games they can play. They can focus. He's got his guitar there. They told us he plays his guitar and he'll fiddle around on it, and it helps him. He likes doing it. He goes fishing. They have a nice pond. It's a beautiful place. So yeah, there's a lot of activities he's doing. He can walk, but he's just not. It has to be controlled. It has to be a controlled situation. He risks falling, which would just slow down his recovery. So basically, he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, they put him in a wheelchair. We took him around with us and hung out. We went outside, went to the pond, came back in, played some games, talked about movies and UFOs, and gave him. It was very one-sided because, like Kyle said, he can't talk to us, but he was listening and paying attention to us. We had Kyle's kids there with us, and he was very happy to see us.
We took a selfie. It was great. Like he was just all about it. Like, yeah, dude, we'll take the selfie. We'll flip off our buddies. We were like, hey, let's send a picture to our buddies and flick them off. So we all flicked him. Marty was just like, yeah, it was awesome, dude.
Yeah,
we're like, yes. So
so he knows that's he remembers this, like that this is the thing. So it's like he's
little indicators like that. Yeah. We were like, yeah, this is good. So he has improved, but it's going to be a long road.
Yeah. And there was a couple of times where he made a great effort to tell us some things, and it's just like, I don't know, maybe we need practice, but I just could not understand what he was trying to say. And he could see it, you could see it in his face. He's like, okay, they don't get it. So
frustrating. I'm sure from his perspective, it's got to be incredibly frustrating. So we're going to, obviously we're going to attempt to go back there more frequently.
Yeah.
Because I think I just have this sense that like that kind of motivation is a big help. His buddy's showing up.
Yep.
So yeah, we told him all about the messages in the Discord. Like there's all these people that you're flooded with all these messages. When you can get use of your device again and you can read this stuff, it's like, dude, people are out there. They're rooting for you. So we told him that, and we were trying to encourage him like, hey man,
there's a lot of people that are waiting to get to that later. A lot of people.
Yeah, so just keep. We were like, oh, I know this sucks, but just keep at it, man. You're doing good. You're getting better, and so we hope to have added a little bit of motivation and encouragement there for him, and hopefully we can get back there more frequently to do that more often.
Yeah, and I would like it. I want to find out more about him getting his phone, because it would be great if we could communicate with him in that way. Yeah. I mean, I've sent him a ton of messages, and I know a lot of you in the Discord, there's thousands of messages in the Messages to Marty channel. So I think that would also motivate him to see all the love, all the support from all over the world from you guys. But I don't know if he can read. I don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know about this. So like, these are questions.
It would be cool to have them. Like we need to have them read to him.
Yeah, I mean, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway, we're trying to, we love the guy, and like we obviously want him to get better. And these kinds of injuries can take a long time to heal, but they can heal. The brain can rewire this problem, and like neuroplasticity its way around it.
Yeah.
Like this has happened before. And so like my hope is that we can help motivate him, and he's in this great facility, and like with motivation, and the right help, that he can get through this and get back to being like the old Marty we knew, and get him back on the show.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He can understand.
Yeah,
for sure. And you could see it in his eyes, and his, he can do these bigger gestures to like, you can totally get that he's getting what you're saying and responding in some way. Yes, no, all these things. And so yeah, it's there. The memory's there. I mean, as soon as we walked in, he's just like, it was like, so.
A lot of people are saying psychedelics. I agree. I mean, I was thinking of the same thing, that like possible, some entheogenic neuroplasticity thing would help, but that would be tough to, I don't know. We're not his family.
I'm not going to
and
go there.
Not gonna push it, but yeah,
Marty was a pretty straight edge guy.
he was.
He drank tequila.
Yeah. Yep. We did mention that to him. Like, I bet you want a margarita. He's like, man.
Oh man, poor guy, dude. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall it was good. We were really happy to be able to get that time. We were already in Houston, the whole family, so brought the kids, everything. It was cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just like being there. We're just like, okay, we got to come back. We got to be here more often.
Yeah.
So we will attempt to do that. We will update you guys whenever that happens. Whenever we get updates, like Laura gets updates from Marty's wife, we'll just keep you guys informed when we can.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks for being here, chat, and for
really
all the super chats and all the support of the podcast in general. Patreon, you guys can support us on Patreon if you're interested in that. There's lots of extras on there, and sometimes there's early access. When we have guests and they can stick around, sometimes we have extras with the guests on there. But yeah, just you can support us through the Patreon just as a value for value as well. PayPal as well. You can just go to brothersoftheserpent.com/support. The website has a whole bunch of stuff on it. Brand new website. Thanks to my lovely wife.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very
check
nice.
that out. Yeah. And again, we love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah. We love you.
Always have.
Always well.
Good night, Adamu.
Get back to work.
Oh, dang. My music playlist stopped.
Uh-oh.
It looks like I didn't have
Hold
it
on.
on repeat.
We gotta focus on Kyle here.
Okay, well, I'm just doing my job, folks. Just doing my job. Zero
He's doing his
mistakes.
job.
Let's see. What song do we want to throw at him this time? Should we throw him another? No, we can't do that. We can't do that. Now I can't pick.
Can't pick.
I can't pick.
All right. Uh-oh. It's not even in there.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, just do Traveler. That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. All right. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, cheers.
Totally genius.